Hi, this is Steve Barrett, editorial director of PRWeek. We're at Davos, and I'm delighted to be here with Rose Beaumont, who's SVP of Global Marketing and Communications at MasterCard. Rose, great to see you, former chair of our Global Awards, so it's good to see you again. Tell us quickly why you're in Davos. Why is it so important for you to be here and for MasterCard to be in Davos? And what's the special sauce that brings everyone here?
So thanks, Steve, and thanks also for making time for me in your busy Davos
I would
schedule.
always make time for you. It's the highlight of my trip.
So Davos, I think, in the World Economic Forum annual meeting is an incredibly important, and I would say getting more so, moment in the year. It happens nice and early in the year. It convenes the really big thinkers, the big movers from across all the sectors that MasterCard is really looking to partner with, from private partnerships, private-public with the governments, with the NGOs, with the big social institutes like the UN. They're all here and they have good senior representation. And they're having the conversations about the issues that are shaping the world today, tomorrow, and also looking down the road and seeing how we're performing against the Sustainable Development Goals. So we really do create some great thinking topics for us to get our arms around, but we come away with lots of actions as well.
Yeah, it's amazing the amount of people here, and a lot of people say that you actually can get more done here than you can't get done at home or in London or New York or whatever. So you've been doing like CEO panels and with the government representatives as well. What about the CCO? This is your sixth Davos. How have you seen the role change? It seems all CCOs are here, which is perfect for PRWeek, and that's great. So, but the role has become more important, hasn't it?
I think so, absolutely, and it comes back to that role of the CCO within any big organisation, whether you're public or private, in that I still very much distill our job down to as we are the ones who create the stories, we build the narrative, we join up all of the business objectives into the narrative that will take us forward, and then we create the content underneath that. So if I go back to that point of all of the big ideas and thoughts are popping here, it is the best place for a CCO to be able to get that 360-degree view on what everyone's talking about. The media representation here is great. You can sit in a room with 60 or 70 journalists and be hearing real time how
sounds like hell on earth. No, I'm joking.
But you can just get your thinking informed in new ways in a really intensive period. And I think alongside that, and some of my business executives that are on the ground are also saying that they're meeting with central bank leaders from around 20 to 30 different countries in 1 week. If they were to try and do that by going to visit them in their countries, that sort of meeting load would take around 6 to 8 months. So it's an efficient use of time as well.
Absolutely. We've seen a bunch of CMOs here as well, and you have a role across marketing and communications. If we look at our Bellwether survey that PRWeek did last year for our 20th anniversary with Boston University, there was still some progress needed to be made on the interaction between marketing and communications. So tell me about how that works at MasterCard, because it's very intrinsic to the way you operate in a structure, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, we have a phenomenal Chief Marketing and Communications Officer in Raja Rajamanar. And his vision, shortly after he joined, was to bring together the marketing and communications function, primarily because his view, and I think it's one that really rings true as you travel around the world and you see different businesses approach, is the day of simple storytelling and forced storytelling is dead, that it's all about the story making. And that really brings together the best of both skill sets, the best of the communicator's skill set and the marketeer's skill set. It doesn't diminish the need, but there is distinct disciplines in terms of corporate communications, crisis management. All of this is still a very specific skill set that an organisation needs. But it's how you bring that thinking closer together so that you're not seeing any jarring in messaging to your audiences, you're seeing consistency across all channels, and you're just thinking around corners slightly better. So it's a journey. We're on the journey, and I think that we still have a long way to go and a long way to grow, but it's an exciting journey to be on.
Yeah, and as you think about the Sustainable Development Goals and trust and purpose, massive themes here this week, how do you balance that as a business with making money, which is, kind of important too, and providing for your shareholders? How does that work and how do you get that balance right?
So I love this question, thank you. And the reason I love it is that doing good by doing well is at the heart of MasterCard's DNA. When we IPO'd 12 years ago, we took 10% of our stock and we created the MasterCard Foundation. So the better we do as a business and our stock performs, the more money the MasterCard Foundation has to invest in good causes. Alongside that, we know we're a 200 billion market capital company now, and the MasterCard Foundation has over 600 million to spend on good causes every year. So we feel that the philanthropy box has been ticked, but now it's about embedding how do we use our technology for social good? How do we drive financial inclusion of those who don't currently have access to the financial system? How do we ensure digital inclusion as we're seeing the world become more connected? And how do we put that diversity lens on ensuring women and other groups get taken along on the journey and are fully represented through our business? So it's part of our DNA.
Yeah, and finally, that's an interesting point about women, because there's still only 22% of delegates are women, which is kind of it seems really unbelievable, to be honest, in this day and age, and it's only really improved by 5% over 20 years. So what's your take on that, and what needs to happen?
So I was trying to, as you were saying that, I was trying to think of the right word that sums up my emotion for that. But I think it's a horrific number. I think 22% is not where we should be in terms of representation. Women make up 52% of the population, so I'd like to see them as half the delegates here in Davos. But I think it tells a deeper story in terms of the way we have to go when it comes to female representation at the very most senior positions in businesses. I think Ed from Edelman on the panel that I was on this week said that there are more UK CEOs called Dave in the FTSE 100 than there are females. So I think when we realise how dire the problem is, Davos is a bellwether of where the industry is and where the world is as a whole. So I think women have to use their voice. They have to support, sponsor and mentor other women, especially if you're in a successful senior position. And we will see change. I just hope it happens a little bit faster than we're seeing it right now.
Yeah, amen to that, definitely. Well, thanks for joining us, Rose, and enjoy the rest of your week in Davos.
Thanks, and I look forward to welcoming you back here next year when you're a seasoned pro. Thanks, Steve.
All right, take care.